Yeah.
This is Bedlam. Number 10, Oklahoma. Number 7, Oklahoma State. The Sooners needing this win to lock themselves a spot in the Big 12 championship. Both teams needing this win to keep their college football playoff hopes alive. This is how rivalry games are meant to be played. This is what rivalry games are all about. And we are here to break down everything you need to know for this game on Saturday night between the Sooners and the Cowboys, and what will be one of the bigger games this rivalry series has ever seen. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. We have a big video here for you guys sharing who we think wins Bedlam. Will it be the Sooners of Oklahoma? Will it be the Cowboys of Oklahoma State? We are here to break down everything you need to know for this game. As always, make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, and share our videos. And of course, guys, check out everything down in the description below. Everything there is for you. Everything there is to help you out. That includes MyBookie. Go over to MyBookie, use our promo code, and guess what? You get a 100% sign-up bonus. They're going to double your first-time deposit over on MyBookie. Go take advantage of that right now. Also, make sure to take advantage of our expert picks over on thegridironexpert.com. Some of the best college football and NFL spread picks in the country. Take advantage of that. Take advantage of that, guys. One of the lowest prices in the country as well. We have 2 packages for some of the lowest prices. You're not going to find those prices anywhere else, and you're not going to find picks that are better anywhere else. So go take advantage of that now, guys. The link for all of that down in the description below. Make some extra money this holiday season by just checking out and signing up for everything we have down there in the description, specifically for you. So let's take a look at this game, guys. Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. Bedlam. Top 10 showdown. Both teams have one loss, as we know. So obviously the loser of this game is out of the college football playoff race. Oklahoma State has already clinched themselves a spot in the Big 12 championship game. Oklahoma needs to win this game to make sure they are in. Now, if Baylor were to lose to Texas Tech, Oklahoma is in regardless, right? But Baylor more likely will beat Texas Tech. Should beat Texas Tech, meaning that the Sooners are in must-win mode right now on Saturday night if they want to get back to the Big 12 championship game. The Sooners have dominated this rivalry series, right? They've won 6 straight games over the Cowboys, only one of them coming by 1 possession. So they've won 6 straight, and they're winning them convincingly. And again, guys, if Oklahoma State wins this game and Baylor beats Texas Tech, it will be a Baylor-Oklahoma State Big 12 championship. If Oklahoma wins this game, Oklahoma State and Oklahoma will have a rematch 1 week later in Arlington with a Big 12 championship on the line and maybe a playoff berth on the line for the Sooners if they win this game. So a lot is at stake on Saturday in Stillwater. Let's take a look at the offense. First, and we'll start with Oklahoma, going with the road team first. You know, the Sooners offensively have not been what we thought they would be. You know, the number-wise, they look solid. But if you've watched Oklahoma all year long, you realize how inconsistent the Sooners have been. You know, number-wise, they look great. They're averaging 38.9 points per game, averaging 441.6 total yards per game. But we know that after that Texas game, or during the Texas game, we should say, Lincoln Riley had to make a change going from Spencer Rattler to Caleb Williams, who has played well. Williams has thrown for over 1,400 yards, 15 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. Has also rushed for 372 yards and 6 rushing touchdowns. So he's filled in, I think, relatively nicely for Rattler, but time and time again, we have seen inconsistencies at the quarterback position, namely against Baylor just a few weeks ago. And you look at Oklahoma, guys, while they're putting up big numbers, they have faltered in the last few games, only scoring 14 against Baylor, only scoring 28 versus Iowa State. Being held to 260 yards against Baylor, being held to 305 yards against Iowa State, both of which typically are not very typical of an Oklahoma-led offense. You know, the Sooners are averaging, well over 250 passing yards per game. They're averaging 175.2 rushing yards per game. Both those are key numbers. Both those are impressive. But the inconsistencies on offense has been a major concern, not just for Sooner fans, but obviously for the team as a whole. And that's going to be something that's going to be very tough going up against a strong Oklahoma State defense that we'll talk about here shortly. When you look at Oklahoma State, I still give the edge offensively to Oklahoma. I do. I still give that edge to Oklahoma, but the margin is slim. It's very thin offensively because the Cowboys, they started slow offensively. They started very, very slow offensively, but they're slowly but surely picking it up, guys. And we've seen that over these last few weeks. The Cowboys are averaging 31.4 points per game, 218 passing yards per game, and 195.7 rushing yards per game. So the Cowboys are not nearly as electric and high-powered and explosive as Oklahoma is, but what Oklahoma State is, and we've addressed this, Oklahoma State is balanced. They're efficient. They are balanced and efficient, and that's what you need on offense. They are led by their star player in Jaylen Warren, who has rushed for over 1,000 yards, 1,078 to be exact, and 10 touchdowns. And Spencer Sanders, who was battling an injury early on in the year, and then when he came back was very inconsistent, has gotten better. Spencer Sanders, 9 touchdowns to 1 interception in the last 5 games. Tack on 2 more rushing touchdowns, so 11 total touchdowns, 1 interception in the last 5 games. And Oklahoma State, guys, has scored at least 21 points in every single game they've played. They've scored at least 21 points in every game they've played. So again, the Cowboys are not as electric and high-powered and flashy as some of the other offenses out there, maybe not even as much as Oklahoma. They're balanced, they're efficient, they're getting the job done, and the offense just has to do just enough because they know their defense is going to bail them out. And we'll touch on that in a second. But the Cowboys, playing well, going to rely heavily on the strength of their run game behind Jaylen Warren and hoping to rely on the accuracy and good decision-making of a veteran quarterback in Spencer Sanders. Defensively, this is where I truly believe the game will be made on Saturday. It's which defense outplays the other. And when you look at the Sooners, guys, their defense hasn't been bad. They're allowing just 24.2 points per game, 384.5 total yards per game. The number you're looking at here is they're only allowing 122.5 rushing yards per game. That's what I'm looking at here. Only 122.5 rushing yards per game. So that's well below Oklahoma State's season average, which means that if Oklahoma can tighten up and stop the run, they can make Oklahoma State one-dimensional and try to force Spencer Sanders to win the game through the air. Something he is capable of doing, but obviously something that Oklahoma State does not want him to have to do and that the team as a whole does not want to have to do. They want to stay balanced. They don't want to become one-dimensional. That's the key number you're looking at for Oklahoma. Another key number you're looking at here for Oklahoma is last week against Iowa State, this defense played lights out. They only beat the Cyclones 28-21. But in that game against the Cyclones, they had 7 sacks. 7 sacks against Iowa State. They forced 3 turnovers against Iowa State. And the Sooners have a knack for creating turnovers. 8 interceptions on the year, 12 fumble recoveries on the year, meaning ball security is going to be so key for Oklahoma State. And I know you can sit here and say, of course it is. No one wants to commit turnovers. No one wants to give the ball back to the other team. But the fact that Oklahoma is taking the ball away at a relatively high rate, if I'm Oklahoma State, if I'm Mike Gundy, that's a concern for me. And we're going to be stressing ball security, especially with our running backs and our pass catchers, because we can't afford to turn the ball over. We cannot afford stupid fumbles like that. So it's going to be a battle really right now between Oklahoma and can they force turnovers and can they generate pressure on Spencer Sanders against an Oklahoma State offensive line that has allowed just 13 sacks all year long. When you look at the Cowboys, guys, this defense is the best in the Big 12 and one of the best in the entire country, and we are not exaggerating. Mike Gundy's defense has been phenomenal all season long. They're allowing just 14.9 points per game and just 261.3 total yards per game. We always say if you are allowing about 300 yards per game or less, you are a good defense, and Oklahoma State is well under that mark. The Cowboys are playing phenomenally on defense. The big number I'm looking at here is, again, the rushing number. The Cowboys are allowing just 82.6 rushing yards per game. 82.6 rushing yards per game. Oklahoma is averaging 175.2 rushing yards per game. Oklahoma State absolutely has the capability to make Oklahoma one-dimensional, to shut down the run and to force Caleb Williams or Spencer Rattler. Williams will get the start, but if he struggles, could see Rattler force them to win the game through the air. When you continue to look at Oklahoma State, their numbers continue to be more impressive. The most points they've allowed all year long is 24. They have not allowed a team to score more than 24 points on them. And how are they doing this? How are they playing so great defensively? For me, when you look at it, it starts up front. It starts on that front 7. It starts on that defensive line. Oklahoma State has 41 sacks on the year. 41 sacks on the year, led by the freshman Colin Oliver with 6.5 sacks already. Oklahoma's offensive line has been shaky. The Cowboys 41 sacks on the year. Oklahoma has allowed 27. Their offensive line has not been great. Their pass protection has not been great. And if the Cowboys can create a little bit of pressure on Caleb Williams, force him to, yes, stay in the pocket, force him to deliver through the air first off, but create pressure on him, they can not only force some second or third and long situations, but maybe force a couple bad decisions out of him. Couple strip sacks, couple fumbles, couple interceptions, whatever it may be, just creating consistent pressure on Caleb Williams, getting enough penetration and push to slow down the run is going to be key for Oklahoma State. That front seven that has been so key all year long, if they play like they have all year long against Oklahoma, they will slow down the Sooners offense, which again, as we had mentioned, has been relatively inconsistent. So what's going to happen in Stillwater? What's going to happen on Saturday night? You know, everybody likes to look in rivalry games, they like to look at history. They go, hey, yeah, you know, right now Oklahoma State, they're the higher ranked team. They're favored in this game, but you know what? Oklahoma has their number, so we're just going to go with Oklahoma. We're going to keep riding with them, right? Because of history. No, that means nothing. That means nothing. Yes, it could play a psychological factor for the team that has been on the midst of a 6-game losing streak to their rival. Sure, it could. Or it could serve as motivation. Both these teams are fighting for their playoff lives right now. And in Stillwater, at Oklahoma State, with a defense that has been criminally underrated, I'm going to go with Mike Gundy and the Cowboys to get the job done, to snap their losing streak to the Sooners, to eliminate the Sooners from any college football playoff discussion, and keep the Cowboys in the college football playoff discussion, something that we have not been able to say ever in the college football playoff era under Mike Gundy. The Cowboys have not been in the playoff discussion this late under Mike Gundy, have not been in the conversation this late since the playoff began. They've been contenders, but not this late. So yeah, we're picking Oklahoma State to win this game in Stillwater on Saturday night. They own the edge in the trenches. They own the edge on the offensive line. They own the edge on the defensive line. They, to me right now, own the edge in the rushing game. They own their edge in the pass rush game. I don't think they own the edge at quarterback right now, but then you factor in home field advantage, you factor in motivation. All the factors right now, consistency, everything to me points towards Oklahoma State. I am giving Mike Gundy and the Cowboys a huge, huge win. They will ride into the Big 12 championship at 11-1. We'll either play Oklahoma again, or we'll play Baylor, who the Cowboys have already defeated by 10 earlier this year, 24-14. And if they win that Big 12 championship, I don't see how they can be left out of the college football playoff. But to do so, they've got to win Saturday, and we believe they do. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Again, guys, first off, before we keep going, happy Thanksgiving. We had said at the beginning of the video, but happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Stay safe out there. Enjoy your time with your friends, with your family. Enjoy your football. Enjoy the Egg Bowl. Enjoy the NFL games. This game obviously isn't until Saturday, but there's going to be so much football starting from Thursday, running all the way really through Monday if you're an NFL fan as well. So enjoy it, guys. God bless every single one of you. We cannot thank you enough for all of your support. And again, stay safe out there and enjoy your time off and enjoy your Thanksgiving meal. As always, guys, we can't thank you enough. Thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert. Please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share the videos, and we'll see you next time. Tomorrow, actually, for the NFL Game of the Week.